Arthaus. All right, this is Arthaus podcast with Tiger, and today we have Nate Schmidt, who of Twitter ecom fame, built up a brand, made Blue Ocean e-commerce, does a lot of other shit. So love to hear some thoughts from him. So Nate, how are you doing today?
Dude, I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. I mean, all things considered, it's a beautiful day outside. I'm about to go get some sun after this. Um, can't complain, man. Roll with the punches for sure.
Your quarantine going well?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like it's kind of embarrassing. My life hasn't changed like all that much. I mean, I already work from home as is most of the time.
Yeah.
It is kind of annoying because I do like going to like the library and like coffee shops and stuff to get work done, and I can't really do that now. But yeah, I mean, I miss going out, man. That's the biggest thing. Like, I'm not really big into going out either. Like, especially just the last year or so, I've been like kind of off that train. But dude, I want to go out, man. I want to get drunk. I want to have fun.
Yeah, it's been kind of weird because I'm an introvert. Like, I don't like doing that stuff either. But it is weird when you do it by choice, and then if you're just forced to not go out at all and not even just go out and like talk to other people, it just feels so weird.
Yeah, dude. And you know what I really want? I just want to go out and have a nice dinner. Just sit down somewhere, have a nice dinner. I can't even do that.
Can't sit down, have your steak, have your brandy, just chill in a
Right?
restaurant. You're just in this, you're just in your room, and like honestly, I spend most of my time in my room, but like, damn it, I want to go out. I want to go meet some people.
Yeah, man. I've noticed too. It's been kind of funny. Like I've noticed that there's a lot more people outside doing outside activities now. Like yesterday, dude, I swear to God, I saw like 80 people riding bikes, and like
Oh
so
yeah,
many people like there's a park like 5 minute walk from my house. There's so many people there. It's like I think
there's
it's kind
that's
of
all
a
you can
in
do
that
right
sense.
now. That's a thing. Like everything
Yeah.
else is like everything else is just like okay, like I can't go out to eat. I can't go out to bars. I can't go to these places I want to go to, but I can still run outside. So I guess I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, pretty much, man. I mean, it's a really nice time of year too. At least where I'm at, it's like this is like prime weather season right now.
So a big common theme with this Corona and e-commerce people is that it's been absolutely wrecking their business. So how has this affected kind of your whole swing of things, your whole routine?
Yeah, so it's kind of just like I don't know how to describe it. It's very volatile and it's not always down. So when this kind of all started, like the issue was getting product shipped from China.
Hmm.
And that's still an issue now, but that was really the main issue. And it wasn't as much of an issue in terms of like the general market conditions.
Hmm.
Um, Now it's been, with it hitting the US and the rest of the world, it's been really weird. And like I've seen on some of my stores, like they've just gone like completely to shit, just like terrible results. And I've even shut one store off completely, like shut the ads off. But then on another store, the ads are doing better than they've like ever been.
Hmm.
And I've started a new store a couple days ago that's doing really, really well. Um, so it's just,
Do you think it's more niche specific or is it just kind of random?
dude, I'm trying to figure that out because obviously, if you can figure that out, then you can use that to make money. I haven't quite figured that out yet. Like, I think there's like obvious stuff that does well,
Yeah.
like things that people can't get. Like, for example, I forget this guy's name, the guy that owns Supply. It's like a razor company. I follow him on Twitter, and he's talking about they're doing some of their best days ever, and they sell razors, and it's like that makes sense because obviously you would normally go to the store to buy razors, and if they're offering, I think they had some new offer where it's like get a free supply or a free
Mhm.
year supply of blades, whatever.
And it's still like it's a pretty like essential thing. Like we're not going to stop
It
shipping
is.
because we don't have money. Like we
It
still
absolutely is,
buy
and stuff
razors.
like that, stuff that like revolves around just like self-care, I guess, and grooming, I think is doing really well right now.
Mhm.
I've also seen people that are doing well with just like accessories, just stuff that
Mhm.
you wouldn't really think of. And I think part of that is just because stores are closed and people, especially Americans, just love buying shit.
Yeah.
And when they can't go and get that experience shopping, then they're going to do it online. And I think that's why we're seeing like, some stuff is just absolutely killing. Some stuff is doing really terribly. It's just kind of very, very volatile.
No, philosophically, what do you think about like and I know you're in an interesting position in this because you benefit from it, but what do you think about consumerism as like a philosophy, as like a mode of being?
I think it's kind of fucked in some senses. it's been taken like entirely too far in America, and it's like really really crazy when you start to realize how much of our modern culture is literally just the result of marketing campaigns.
Oh
Like
yeah,
there's so much stuff, like just obvious examples, like wedding rings was like De Beers, and like there's all these different campaigns that you can point to that are like, oh, so that's why that's a normal thing now, and we don't even really think about
yeah.
it.
When we think about like what are our cultural icons, what are our things? It's all stuff that's been media pushed. It's all stuff that's been like created in a boardroom and set up and pushed and mass distributed. There's no like like when you go to like Europe and stuff, there's all the culture, all the history there. There's still,
Right.
the tradition's still there. When it comes here, it's like Pepsi Cola, all the products, get the stuff,
Yeah.
get your free series. The grounding isn't there.
Yeah, I agree, man. And I think it's beautiful in the sense that it gives people the opportunity to, one, obviously, consumerism, capitalism, whatever, it gives people who are willing to work really hard the opportunity to create a really great life for themselves.
Yeah,
But on the other hand, I think that it's definitely damaging in the sense that I think it takes away from like family and tradition and things that are, really important that we've kind of like lost track of. Like most people don't
yeah.
even think about like family or tradition. Like what, like people don't even think about that really anymore.
Well, yeah, and
Um,
like so a few years ago, I was still in high school and whatnot, and when I heard about like church, when that would come up, like church and family and tradition, in my mind, I'd be like, that's stupid. I just want to play video games. I just want to go out with my friends. And I feel that like high school mentality is still so prevalent, like you know, in
Oh,
the
100%.
20s
Dude,
and 30s
people
and
don't grow
whatnot.
up.
Yeah,
People don't grow up, and it's like it's crazy for me, especially like when I talk to people who are older than me. Like I'm 22, about to be 23.
yeah,
I'll talk to people who are in their late 20s, and they're like less mature in that sense than I am, and it just like doesn't make sense to me. I don't really understand how we got to this point where all these things that were just like basically so integral to our development as a society, and really the things that got us to where we are today. Um, People are just like completely forgetting those things. And I think it's kind of like that cycle, whatever that meme is, where it's like, weak men create hard times create strong men, that
yeah,
kind
yeah. Yeah, it seems like we're at the tail end of that cycle. We're about to get whipped back. I do think this coronavirus thing. I think it's gonna showcase to people like what's more important. Is all that stuff you've been buying more important? Is that going to keep you safe at night? Is that going to make you feel happy? No. What's going to keep you happy is like the food, your family,
yeah.
your friends and whatnot. Obviously, there's a lot of nuance and minutia to that. Some people's family lives aren't good. Some people are alone. Blah blah blah. But I think on the whole, like this is going to get people to be like, maybe I don't need to buy all that stuff. Maybe I don't need to purchase constantly.
Yeah. I think that I think that might happen a little bit. I don't think the effects of it are going to be, I mean, it obviously depends on what happens and how long this whole thing lasts.
Hmm.
But right now, I mean, I don't see that happening at all. I don't see people becoming less materialistic. I don't see consumerism, declining or anything like that. I
Hmm.
think if anything, like it might be the opposite because people are just like they don't know what to do with themselves, and
Hmm.
society and marketers have made it very easy to get that quick dopamine hit
Right.
without any effort, and I don't see that going away anytime soon.
Well, I think like I definitely think in like by short term I mean like a year. I definitely think in the short term like people are gonna it's gonna be like when you're like holding it's like when you hold it you pour the food in the bowl and you're like physically holding the dog back and the dog can see the food in the bowl but you're not letting him get it. That's what's happening right now. Like our one click get anything like that's not working right now for some products, so people are getting kind of antsy. And then when that reopens, when the supply chains come back, when the economy comes back and whatnot, people are gonna, oh shit, I can get everything I want again. Boom, it's gonna be a mad rush. But I think like 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, like the longer term effects, I think people are gonna look back and be like, I don't really need this. Like I don't really need this much. And
Maybe.
obviously, like projecting that far, it's almost idiotic because we don't know what can happen in 4 years. I mean, fucking Donald Trump got elected, right? Like anything can literally happen. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's
I,
high
do, I
projections.
think the programming is just so wired into people, and it's only gotten worse like with all this stuff in the last like 10 years, the social media, all this technology we have. Like the new generation is so fucked. It's like it's kind of sad.
Yeah,
um I think that it's going to be crazy to see like our kids. It's literally going to be a world where I feel like it's going to be a world of extremes where you have people who it's just like basically the masses who are just like basically brain dead because they literally spend all their time just consuming quick hits of dopamine. And then the people who kind of recognize that and are able to be like, yo, well, Tommy, don't fucking watch TV. Get off that fucking VR headset
Yeah,
bullshit.
there's gonna be
Fucking
like
go
a
play some basketball.
20%. There's gonna be a 20% that's completely shut off from everything else, and they're gonna grow up, develop like normal humans. And then there's that huge percentage which is just on TikTok, Instagram, 24/7, always tweeting, always in the matrix.
In the Matrix.
Yeah, not they're not living, they're just existing, and they're getting just consuming.
Yeah, man, and it's tough because all this stuff is designed so well. They make it so addicting on purpose. Like, it's not by
Yeah.
accident that you're addicted to Instagram. It's not by accident that you can't fucking go 2 hours without picking up your phone and checking Twitter. Like, they design it like that very purposefully.
Well, and I've seen with you, like, you've completely like just hecked off of Twitter. Like, you're just
man.
Took off the name, took off the links to your stuff. You're just existing. You're just chilling now.
Yeah, I mean, that for me wasn't as much about like the dopamine and stuff. I mean, it definitely partly was. I definitely saw, like, I don't know, my attention span getting shorter, being unable to get things done because I was just, distracted, whatever. But I think the biggest reason that I kind of started doing that was because I noticed that, like, when I had an original thought of some sort, my first like inclination wasn't to like hash it out and put something like, that really made sense and really try to hash out like a I don't know, a really well thought out original thought. It was like, how can I condense this into a tweet that's going to do numbers? And I was like, wait, that's really bad. That's my first thought. And I started to realize, like, dude, I'm conditioned to literally just put out content that gets likes and shares or, retweets, whatever. Not to actually like think critically.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And I started noticing that. And part of it too, like just, I guess, complete transparency was that when I started doing Twitter and stuff, the marketplace was much less, flooded per se. There was almost no one except for me and my partner in house, Scotty, who are, selling, marketing, make money, whatever type courses.
Yeah, like you and Scotty, like, if I recall, Scotty came in and he's like, drop shipping, we are going to drop ship this product here. And then you're like, I'm going to hop on that shit. And then you became his protege and you quickly you just blew up together, right? And everyone's like, whoa, you can make money by selling Chinese products. And then everybody tries to do it. Most of them fail. Some become copycats. And then some kind of niche off and be successful in their own way. And then it kind of consolidated into these like you have the blue ocean, you have, these people, there's all these little like mini tribes now that have kind of consolidated after that initial blow up.
Yeah, man, I agree. I'd like to think I'm a sort of pioneer in some way of that. But it was really great for, like all of 2018. I would say like it really started kind of falling off. I would say probably like halfway through 2019. I stopped tweeting like for a while there, like all throughout 2018. And for the first part of 2019, like I spent at least an hour a day just sitting here trying to think of tweets that people would like. And I started realizing, like, is that really the best use of my time? Like, I don't really know. And then I was like, okay, so this is kind of damaging my entire fucking like mental process. The returns aren't as good as they used to be. There's so many more people. There's so much more noise. It's a lot more difficult to get people to pay attention to your stuff. Yeah. I think I might just take a little break from this and see what I can do outside of this, because I just really am like kind of the mindset that I don't want to build any of my businesses in a way where I have to continuously create content. And right now that's not like, I'm not 100% there yet. But that's where I want to be, because I know that even though I enjoy it now, even though I enjoy, like right now, most of the content that I'm creating is on YouTube. Even though I really enjoy making that content now, I know that there's going to come a point in my life where I don't really enjoy doing that. And I don't want to put myself in a situation where I have to keep doing that to maintain my income and my lifestyle.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what you said there, like sitting for an hour thinking of tweets and whatnot, like the point of being like, I guess the point of getting Twitter, for me at least, was like getting new ideas and changing my thinking patterns. But when Twitter becomes your thinking pattern, when your thought pattern it becomes based around the goal of more followers, more engagement, more income in that sense, you don't become a free thinker. Like all the potential chaotic, good, crazy ideas, they get shuttered away, and you can just focus on this line that gives you the right engagement, gives you all that stuff. So in a way, it just totally screws your thought process. Like when I'm off for a week, my long form thinking comes back, and I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, why do I even use the app? And then I use
Yeah,
the
man. And
app.
I went through a period last year where I deleted Twitter off my phone for like probably a good 3 months and just completely got unaddicted to Twitter. Like I was so addicted. You know, we like if you're on Twitter, like in really like any capacity, if you're creating content, like almost undoubtedly you're addicted to it. You're on it hours a day. You're constantly picking it up. You're constantly scrolling through. You're constantly checking it. Um,
Yeah,
shit,
dude,
I
I
just
know
lost my train
that.
of thought
Like,
there.
I don't even have. I'm not even at 3K followers yet, and yet like when those likes come in, when those retweets come in, I'm like, must tweet more, must tweet more, must tweet. It's crazy. It's
Yeah,
really
man, it's definitely not ideal, and I think that like it's just so important for us to be conscious of that and how these things that we use constantly are affecting the way that we think and the way that we process information. And it's just like the whole you know the whole like dopamine detox thing has become like kind of popular over the last couple of months, and I think that that's like such an incredible thing to do. And it sucks because it's very difficult. Like it's very difficult to do that, and I've done it in like different capacities and kind of like been good about it for a little bit and then kind of fallen back into it. And it's just like if you can actually pay attention to that and actually make sure that you're like just not cramming your brain with bullshit constantly, like just that alone is gonna just like put you so far ahead because you're gonna actually have a clear mind and you'll actually be motivated to work on interesting stuff instead of
Mhm.
just fucking wanting to scroll through dopamine land.
Yeah. It your life with Twitter and your life without Twitter are two completely like you wouldn't think that an app has that much control over everything you do, but then you stop using the app for just like a week, and you're like, whoa, I'm getting so much more done in this area. I feel way happier. You
Yeah.
know, it's a blessing and a curse. It really is.
It is, man. I mean, I think it could be really good, and it's like I wouldn't change a thing. Like if I could go back, I wouldn't go back and like not use Twitter.
Yeah.
I've met so many amazing people. Like just it's crazy. Like my entire the place I live right now, I live with over Scotty used to live here. He was here for 6 months. But I live with two dudes who I met from Twitter, who I didn't know in person,
Hmm.
who I wouldn't have known otherwise. And we've been living together, and it's been fun as shit.
Hmm.
And I've gone on trips with people, like been to Colombia and to Whistler, Canada, Thailand, and just like all these different places with all these cool people. And it's amazing. It's amazing if you can use it for that. And I think that that was one of the like really awesome benefits of kind of being on the early train of things is it allowed me to, I guess, kind of have a presence that allowed me to meet a lot of really cool people. Um, and it's been really great for that. But if you're not benefiting from it in any way,
Hmm.
either monetarily or socially or just something,
Yeah.
there's really no reason to be
No.
on them. Because like what was I watching? I think I was watching like an Alex Becker video last night. He's talking about like no one's life has ever gotten significantly worse because they deleted Instagram. Like no one's deleted Instagram and be like, fuck man,
Yeah.
like I'm so
Well,
much less happy. Like that
that's
doesn't
what
happen.
that's when I like. I wasn't huge on social media before I discovered Twitter and like found it would be like an actual resource. So I'm just thinking like, why? Like, why do these people use these apps? Like, what's the benefit? Like, if I literally thought like, all right, I'm never gonna make money or get a relationship from social media again, like I would have zero qualms of just deleting it.
Yeah,
It's so
man. I mean,
strange.
it's why do people
Like,
smoke cigarettes? Because it tastes good and
yeah,
it's addicting.
yeah.
Twitter's the same way.
Well, like like you and I like when you're just on Twitter, like you see normie tweets that get like retweeted and stuff, and you read it and you're like, this is what people do all day. This like commenting on shows and like getting mad at politics. It's like what like imagine filling your brain with that like 4 hours a day minimum.
Dude, I mean,
Unhealthy.
some days I do.
Yeah,
And it's like at night and I'm like, why do I feel like shit? And I'm like, oh, that's why I feel like shit.
yeah. You just cram your brain with so much negativity. Do you believe in that stuff, like the law of attraction, negative positive energy sort of thing?
Definitely to an extent, yeah. I mean, I feel like there's I'm not like, I don't know, Mr. Astrology, like super into that kind of
Astrology
stuff.
guru.
Yeah, but no, I mean, it's pretty apparent to me that, we're all kind of made up of energy. Like that makes pretty intuitive sense to me.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I mean, I think that stuff's all very real. I think like recently, and I've kind of been slacking on this the last couple of weeks with everything that's been going on, but I've been kind of getting more into like spirituality and just like stuff like that. Just being able to like, I don't know, have control over your own, it's not even about control really. It's just about being able to like recognize that you're not the person that's like thinking all the thoughts that are in your head.
Mm-hmm.
And like, cause we all have this voice in the back of our head, and it's like honestly the worst version of you. Like it's constantly telling you what you're doing wrong, constantly making you feel
Yeah.
anxious, insecure, and like all this shit. And like being able to separate yourself from that, I feel like is like so huge. And I think energy definitely plays into that. So I'm kind of like, yeah,
Dude,
like I definitely believe in it to some
learning how to
extent.
slow down and just listen to your thoughts, listen to the different parts of yourself, and then trace where those parts are coming from. Like, oh, you hear that negative voice, so you trace that back, or you trace that back, and then eventually you get to a point like, oh, way in my past, this happened, and that's why this voice started. And then once you like realize that and you make friends with it, then it just goes away. And that's been happening to me so much over the past year, where I've just been finding like, why do I get mad at this? And then I trace it back and just think about it. Sometimes it takes a couple months, but eventually get there, and I'm like, oh shit, that's why I've been mad. And then it just goes away. And I'm like, that's so stupid why I was mad. You know,
Yeah.
why am I getting mad at my dad for this? And I think so. It's just that process, like it's that process of self healing that we're all going through. But if you're not on it, then you could be really destructive to
Yeah,
people.
man. And like, you won't even know it either. Like,
Yeah.
that's the crazy part. It's like, you won't even know. And that's like a really scary concept for me is like you can't dwell on this and you can't like think like this constantly. But like, I definitely do think sometimes, like, am I just overall in the way that I'm operating, the way that I'm thinking, am I doing something seriously wrong? Am I going to look back and be like, oh my God, I can't believe that I was thinking like that? Or
Yeah.
like, that was how, I process things. Like, I don't know.
Well, am I thinking like it's inevitable? Like every year I look back and I'm like, why was I doing that last year? What the hell?
Yeah.
Why was it? Because
And that's a
sometimes
good
you're
thing.
just not ready. Sometimes you're just not ready to make the psychological jump yet. Like you want to keep doing the habit right now because like you don't really have like the mental urgency to get rid of it. And then a year later, the habit's been like long gone, and you look back like, wow, like I had that habit. That had power over me. That's ridiculous. So I
Yeah,
let
man.
that happen.
I mean, I struggle with that myself. Like, I'm super addicted to nicotine. Like
Yeah.
right now, I got a fucking Zyn pouch in. Well, I got the threes though. I'm trying to cut down. There's a 3 and the 6. I'm trying to be on the low one. Um, but it's been hard, man. Like I've been trying to, just trying to cut down. I haven't like had a really solid reason to be like, I need to quit this. But
Yeah.
like I should. It's not really good for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I just, it's tough when you don't have a really strong reason to, and like it's super addicting.
Mm-hmm.
It's very difficult. And I feel like that's why like so many people are just addicted to social media, because it's like, yeah, like I think people intuitively know that it's not really good for them, and they
But
understand like
they don't have a reason. They don't have a reason. They don't have a
exactly.
meaning.
They're like, well,
Like,
what would I do otherwise? And
yeah,
like to them, it's like, what would I do? Like I might learn how to cook, or I might learn Spanish. Like fuck that, like whatever. But in reality, like that would be so much like so much better, and would probably
yeah,
make you a lot more happier and more fulfilled if you were to invest time into things that you could grow and get better at and create with, and et cetera, et cetera.
yeah. You need a gut punch, and it's kind of hard to get that. It's kind of hard to get that in our comfort-laden world to get
It
just
is,
like
man. It
you know,
definitely is.
you need something like a job loss because of it, or a death, or like something. You need something really bad. You can't just have someone be like, "Hey, you should stop doing that," because then you'd be like, "Fuck that, you doesn't know me." Blah 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 blah
Yeah, that's basically me talking to my mom and my girlfriend.
blah.
They're like, stop hitting the jewel, whatever. I'm like, you don't know me.
You don't know me. You know my. But then you think about it rationally, and you're like, "Man, they have a point." But
No, they 100% do. I mean, I think it's like I think nicotine's really bad at like when it's overused. I mean, I
mm,
notice it, man. Like I know that nicotine like constricts your blood flow or something like that. And
mm,
I notice like if I'm fucking like hitting that shit constantly, I'll like look down and I'll realize like, oh shit, my feet are super cold. Like I don't think there's blood getting to my toes right now. And like that cannot be good. Like I don't know if that's like super bad over the long term. Maybe
yeah,
my feet are gonna fall off. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, without like some really compelling reason, I feel like it's just like it's so difficult to break addictions because I mean, that's why they're addictions. They're designed to literally make you do it constantly.
yeah. I mean, I was shooting some stuff with Alexander Cortez, and he like before he trained, he gave me some nicotine gum because it's like a good pre-workout, and
Mhm.
like I've never just felt so just lasered in. I could see
Yeah.
definitely how that can get so, because I'm not I don't use nicotine. I'm not really a big drinker or anything. I don't use many stimulants or any substances that much. So when I just took that nicotine gum, I was like super focused,
Yeah,
straight
dude. I mean,
forward.
it definitely does help with focus. I feel like for me, it's like the opposite. It's like it doesn't necessarily help with focus, but if I don't have it, then it hurts my focus. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. So it's like your new baseline in a sense.
Yeah. I mean, dude, I've been addicted to nicotine since I was probably like, I don't know, like 18 or 19. I started smoking cigarettes when I went to college, and then got addicted to cigarettes. And I always told myself like I didn't understand, like when I was younger and I was like kind of started smoking cigarettes. I was like, I'm never gonna be addicted to these. Like I don't understand how people get addicted to these. And then over time, I just started doing a little more. And then one day I woke up and I was like, oh shit, I want a cigarette right now. Oh, I'm addicted. And then from there, I was like, all right, well, I should probably try to not get addicted. And then that was kind of when the Juul came out. And I was like super, super reluctant to do that. I thought it was the lamest thing ever. I was like, dude, that's fucking lame as shit. Like, smoke cigarettes like a real man. And then I finally had enough of it, and I started doing the Juul, and then I just got way more addicted, like
Yeah.
so much more. It was crazy.
Does a Juul have more nicotine than a cigarette?
I mean, I don't know how to measure that
I know it's probably
necessarily.
different because you use a pod multiple times and you use a cigarette once, so it's probably
Yeah,
not.
I think it's more addicting in the sense that you can do it anytime. You don't have to like with a cigarette. You obviously you got to go outside and take a smoke break unless you're smoking cigs inside like constantly, which is pretty rare these days.
Yeah.
But with that, you can just do it anywhere, and it's super accessible. And yeah, I think that's kind of how it happens.
Dang. In terms of e-commerce, do you see that? This is just a side point. Do you see like any like jewels or e-cigarettes? Is that like a market that's popping up, or is that easy to get from China, or is that kind of like has to be like really regulated and through the U.S.?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I haven't really seen much about it online. Um, I feel like that probably is an opportunity because I know that Jewel has like have a subscription or they had a subscription, whatever, where you could like get it delivered, and it was cheaper. So I think you can probably do it online, but I haven't really seen much of that. And I feel like it's just like it's very much a local thing,
Hmm.
just distribution with gas stations and stuff. That's really where people are going to buy them. But nah, I haven't seen much about that. I've definitely seen other like nicotine alternatives. I've
Hmm.
seen like what did I see? I saw an ad the other day. It was like gum. It wasn't gum though. It was something else. I don't know. Just like different nicotine alternatives, something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Do you what are your plans for your Blue Ocean stuff? Because I've not heard any. I mean, I'm pretty good friends with Ian, and I haven't heard like I haven't heard that much from it. I haven't seen much stuff popping off on your Twitter accounts. Like what's like the current thing going on with that?
Yeah. So basically, for the last couple of months, we've been really focused on paid traffic, on getting things working with Facebook ads, with YouTube ads,
Hmm.
and really just trying to, kind of like I was talking about earlier, where I don't really want to put myself in a position where I have to constantly create content to, continue to run and grow the business.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge part of what we're doing now is just like really focusing on, paid traffic funnels, video ad creatives, things like that. And we started doing that probably probably got serious about it about like 6 months ago or so. And it took a lot of time, man. It took a lot of time and a lot of testing to kind of like just figure out something that works because at least in my experience, like running ads for a physical product that's like relatively cheap is a hell of a lot easier than running ads for an information product that's kind of expensive.
Hmm.
Um,
Oh, I can see
so
so.
it was it was a lot of trial and error and a lot of learning. I mean, it still is. We haven't figured it out per se. I would
Yeah.
say in any sense of the imagination, but we've gotten to the point where we're able to spend a decent amount of money per day, and really have that as like the main I guess the main source of traffic for that business. So that's kind of what we're working on right now. We kind of started the business with this like grand idea that everyone that worked for it, everyone that was involved was going to get paid massive amounts of money and it was going to be amazing and all this stuff. And as a result of that, we kind of like had a bit of an overinflated like business, I guess, in the sense that we just had like too many people working. Um, People were getting paid like a lot. And we kind of like leaned it out starting Yeah, I mean, probably like in October, November of
Yeah.
last year. And now we're just kind of looking forward, just really trying to see how we can just grow this business to, multiple millions of dollars a year. Mainly with paid traffic, also with doing stuff on YouTube and, affiliates and other stuff like that. And just really focusing on just like creating really, really high quality offers and just putting out just incredible content that is not only just like valuable and is actually like teaching people stuff, but it's also that's like entertaining and fun to watch. I don't know if you've seen any of the ads we've been running, but we had a pretty big breakthrough within the last couple of months when I kind of shifted the ad strategy from like the typical, whatever, do this free training, sign up to learn how to make money, whatever. Like the kind of annoying guru ads, and instead of doing that, just kind of tried to make like funny skits, and
Yeah.
just make it humorous and actually
Yeah.
something that is fun to watch. And when we started doing that, like the results just fucking skyrocketed completely. It was a huge game changer.
Well, and that's what I've noticed with video is that like you can do those. You can do like the normal like sales ads explaining the product, showing the benefit, and whatnot. Like those definitely work. But what you can do with video that you can't do with copy is do these like mini skits, do these little mini movies that are entertaining to watch and they're fun and they, because we learn a lot through humor. We learn a lot through comedy and the dramatic arts. So if you can put that in an ad and sell through that, you're going to get a lot of information across, and the people are going to associate it with positive emotion. They're going to be like laughing while they're watching and be like, oh shit, like okay, I'll check this out. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, man. It's just like it's one of those things, just like whatever that saying is, like breaking the third plane or whatever. I don't even know. Like
Fourth wall,
acknowledge.
breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's it. Just acknowledging like, yo, this is an ad. Like, yo, I am trying to sell you something, and putting it in a funny way.
Yeah.
Like I think people just respect that so much because they're just so sick of like just some like fucking slimy looking dude yelling at them like super fucking hypey, and they're just like, dude, like I don't need all that. Like,
Stop, fuck. I've seen you 20 times today. Go away.
yeah. So that's kind of our focus there is just really growing it with paid traffic and other sources, I guess, and just
We've
doing something like really, really great, man. I think that the whole like ecom education space is just so incredibly fucked up. There's so many people that are just terrible, man. Like I really don't understand. Like even people that I've like met and that I like have gotten to know like decently well have turned out to be like just terrible people, honestly. Like there's a difference in my mind between like someone who sells a product and like maybe it's not the best, but they sold the product, they said what they were going to sell you, and then they provided that. Between that and then someone who promises the world and then doesn't deliver literally anything, and there's countless examples of that, and I just don't understand like what these people are thinking. And I think it's just kind of like it's just a difference between like short-term and long-term mindset.
Oh yeah.
um, if I wanted to right now, I could probably go make $100,000 this weekend. Just by like basically offering some sort of vague mentorship to, all my followers, email list, YouTube, whatever. And just promising people the world saying, you're going to make $10,000 first month guaranteed. And like, so people that have a brain, that should be a red flag, right? If someone's guaranteeing that you're going to make money in literally anything, like that should be a red flag. But people want to believe that they can do this. The desire to get that result outweighs like a reasonable logic that's like, wait, he probably can't guarantee me that he's going to make me that much money.
Right.
And they want it so bad that, they just kind of get blindsided by it. And the people who understand that, a lot of them are very willing to kind of
And
promise that and then not deliver anything.
and if you're doing like if you're doing you're someone like I'm gonna use this name and like I think Grant Cardone does some scummy stuff and he's kind of weird with the Scientology and whatnot, but I'm just gonna use this name as an example. If Grant Cardone's offering a mentorship, right, and 1,000 people sign up, how much of his personal time are you gonna get, right?
Yeah.
How's that even gonna break down? You're probably gonna get a video course and like a Q&A once a week that's like 4 questions that's been typed up by his like intern or something, right? Like that's the extent of the mentorship. And it's just so weird when you see these products offered and you're like, there's no way that can exist. There's no way. There's no way. And then you click through it and you read it and they're like, oh, okay, I see. Like they're using wordplay and they're doing trickery here, but most people are going to go $10,000 a month. Like, bye.
Yeah, man, it's just crazy. Like we don't in any of our stuff, like we never guarantee any sort of results. Like we go out of our way to make sure that people understand that there's no guarantee of results.
Yeah.
It's just like, could we make more money in the short term doing that? Like, yeah, absolutely. But then if you start doing that, you start to deal with like just really low quality customers, people who don't actually, have real ambition or actually want to put in the work to do something great. They just want the
Yeah, they
fast.
just want the they
They
just want
want
the
it
money.
without work, just like we all do. We all want everything for nothing. Um, Holy shit, dude! My brain, I just lost my train of thought again. Where did we start with that one?
Everything for nothing, right? That's the thought you were on. These people want to be promised the world. They want to get the world. Don't want to do any work. And Boss Builder or is it Boss Builder or is it Blue Ocean? Or is
So
Blue
yeah, so Blue Ocean is like the name of the company, and then Boss Builder is like the main offer.
Okay, got it. And
Yeah.
Boss
So
Builder,
yeah, I was basically just saying that we go out of our way to make sure that people understand like you're not going to be guaranteed anything, and it's a trade off. Like we definitely don't get as many customers as we could if we fucking were way more aggressive and guaranteed people that they make money. But for one, it's an ethical thing. Like I don't really have any interest. I have my entire life ahead of me. I don't need to do something super unethical to make money right now. Um, there's no reason to, and it's just like over the long term, it's
yeah,
it's not going to be better. It's
yeah,
just not.
yeah. You don't have the North Carolina mob at your neck telling you need to make $100,000 a weekend, or they're gonna burn down your house.
Yeah, man, I'm terrified of that shit, man. I'm terrified of doing people wrong and them coming after me or my family or anything like that. Um,
Oh, a
so yeah,
lot of crazy people. A lot of crazy people out there. And if you have your face online, you're saying you're in this place, like people can that there's a lot of wackos out there, and if you piss one off, like
yeah, man, it only takes one.
yeah,
It only takes one too. And
yeah,
I'm not super worried. I mean, I'm pretty strapped up here. If someone tries to tries
yeah,
to
yeah,
at the crib, they're gonna get a 2-2-3 to the chest. But um, yeah, man, it's pretty crazy. And I think you just got to be careful. You got to be mindful about what you do and what you put out online, and just understand that none of that stuff goes away. It's gonna be out there forever. And the things that you do and say online, they can come back and they can affect you in real life. So you got to make sure that you're doing things. I don't know.
Now,
Somewhat.
feel free to keep this private because I know this is a topic that some people don't want to share, and I totally understand why. But
My dick is 8 inches long.
okay, good. That was the one after this, but um, the your game plan, like 20 years from now, what does Nate Schmidt want to be doing?
20 years from now, so what? I'll be 40,
Or
42,
10.
40,
Let's say 10. Let's say 10. 20 is
10.
not
Okay.
fucking crazy.
10 years. It kind of depends, man. In 10 years, I could see myself like pretty settled down, like married, you know, maybe have a kid and have a couple on the way, whatever. Once I get to that stage of my life, I want to live kind of out in the country a little bit and have just like a lot of land and just like a super dope house and have just like a really strong, I don't know, like family connection, family bond, very like family centered. I think that's like extremely important. Um, and I think, to get there, I think really the plan is just to, continue doing what I'm doing with e-commerce and with info marketing and stuff.
Mhm.
Build brands, exit out of the brands, make some fat stacks, invest that into real estate, multifamily, commercial real estate, and just continue growing my wealth and kind of doing like recently I've been thinking a lot more about things that I can do where you do something once and then you're getting paid from it like consistently over time.
Yeah, maybe
Like,
it's not a lot, but it's consistent.
right. I mean, even if you have a few sources of income, even if they're, a grand or two a month, um, if you don't have to do anything for them and they just keep coming in consistently, a grand or two a month, like, you know, who wouldn't take that? Like, that's a good thing to have.
That's food.
Um,
That's food for a month. Done.
yeah, man. I mean, that's rent, that's food, that's, car payment, whatever. And over time that compounds. And I think that those are really like the main things. I've been really interested. Like I've been kind of doing some stuff. I'm not going to talk too much about this. But I've been doing some stuff related to like B2B sales, and I've been really, really enjoying that. So I could definitely see like going into some stuff like that. But at this point, I mean, I kind of have like a general outline of what I want and what I want to do. But I feel like I'm kind of just going to be doing what I'm doing and just kind of be open to the opportunities that arise.
Mhm.
And when the right opportunities strike, take advantage of them and, continue growing and developing and doing what I'm doing.
Do you do any shit that's like not business related that you just like to do for fun, or just like for personal satisfaction, or is your life right now like most tilted towards growing your business?
Yeah, it's definitely mostly business, man. Um, there's just not really a whole lot of stuff that I've done that I've enjoyed doing more.
Hmm.
Like in my free time, like I just don't know what else I would really do that's a main thing. Cause I feel like there's always like a one main thing. Unless you have one main thing that you're working on, like, I don't know, like to me, that's kind of like where it's at. If you have one main thing that you love doing, that's fucking amazing because
Yeah,
then you can spend the majority of your time doing something that you like doing, which is more than most people can say.
yeah.
But outside of that, I mean, I got like kind of into boxing last year. Haven't been doing much of that recently because the gym's been
Yeah.
shut down. I really love skiing. I like absolutely love skiing. It's probably like just about my favorite thing to do.
Mhm.
Um, and just like traveling and just experiencing things, man. Like hobbies, like at home. I mean, just like typical shit, like going out, like playing basketball, going to the gym, playing racquetball.
Mhm.
Just going and laying out in the sun, man. I've been doing that a lot more recently because it's just been nice out, and there's a park really close to my house, and just laying outside in the sun and just like trying not to think about anything. Like that's that's been so amazing.
Must be
Um,
good for you because you're dealing with so many moving parts 24/7 that
yeah,
just
man, it can be a lot. It can be very stressful at times, and I think that's something I had to learn to deal with within the last like year or two. Because up until I started doing this stuff, like I don't think I really knew what stress felt like. Like
Mhm.
I've lived a pretty cushy life, by all accounts. Grew up in like I didn't grow up like wealthy, but my parents, they did well.
Yeah.
Lived in the suburbs. I had a very good childhood, and I kind of had to figure out like how to manage things when shit got stressful, when shit wasn't working as it used to.
Mhm.
When just every single thing that you could think of was going wrong all at once. Like I had to figure out how to deal with that. And I think that like one of the biggest things has just been like box breathing. Box breathing has been absolutely huge for me. Um, and just being able to like, I don't know, man, just like take a break and kind of like distance yourself from the outcome and not really like attach your self-worth and your kind of like self-identity to the results that you're bringing in business. Because
That's
like,
what that's what Do and I have been having long talks about that, about how, so many people think their value is tied to, the avatar, the image that they have, where it's you're bringing in money, you're fucking loads of bitches, you have your boat, you have all your stuff. And second those start failing one at a time, you start losing your relationships, your business takes a hit and whatnot. Your own personal value just goes to shit.
yeah, man. And I experienced that like really heavy um, towards the beginning of last year. Like at the end of 2018, that was like the best that I'd ever done in business ever. Like I was making more money than like I even really knew what to do with and just absolutely killing it. And then pretty much overnight that went away. And I went from making a lot of money to, I mean, still good money, like definitely more than average, but it wasn't the level that I had,
Yeah.
previously been at. And it was very, very, it was difficult, man. Like there were times, like, I don't want to say I was depressed because I don't, that's definitely not the right word. Um, but there was definitely like a
You're a
shift
bit down.
in
You're a
my
bit
thought process. Yeah, like I was just feeling down, man. And that's another genius thing about especially like Shopify notifications. Like I don't know if I mean, you know what it looks like. You've seen the screenshots and stuff. The way they design that is just like
scrolling.
social media. It's
Cha-ching, cha-ching.
super addicting, super, super addicting. And when you're used to hearing those and seeing those notifications and just opening the dashboard and seeing big numbers every day, and then all of a sudden that's gone, it takes a toll on you. It really does. And I think that's just part of it, man. Like business it's going to be up, it's going to be down, and you just have to be kind of level and not let that Jesus Christ, not let that shit get to your head, and just kind of just understand what you need to be doing and not let your day-to-day results kind of influence that.
Would you say that if there's a bright-eyed 18-year-old right now, like got fresh out of high school, he wants to make money, would you say like go into e-commerce in the current state that it is? Would you say go into e-commerce,
I would say
Or
learn direct response marketing. I would say learn how to put together a good offer, learn how to run traffic,
mm,
learn all these basic principles, because once you understand that stuff, it's all kind of the same no matter what you're doing. If you're doing ecom, if you're doing freelance copywriting, you're doing freelance anything, if you're doing affiliate marketing, if you're doing literally any type of business, if you understand the principles of why people buy, of human behavior, of
yeah,
sales, how to, just do these kind of like basic things. And it's basic in the sense that it's very like root level, like first order thinking type stuff, but it's difficult in the sense that like there's a lot of it. And it's very difficult to get yourself to think on that kind of a level and understand people on that kind of a level, because we're very like programmed, I think, to seek out complicated solutions to complicated problems.
yeah,
And
we want to feel high and mighty, feel like we're solving these massive, like world changing problems and being geniuses and whatnot. Where instead we could just be like, you know that there's that meme going around where it's like, no, you can't be printing money, and then the boomer's like, haha, money machine, go brr. Like we want to just be the guy that's going brr, but we're thinking like we're this like we have to do all this like complicated stuff. We're getting really mad. We're not getting the results that we want. All we need to do is just dumb ourselves down.
no, it's so true, man. Like, oh, I'm getting, nah, we're good.
Oh, is the call soon?
Yeah, I mean, it was supposed to be a minute ago, but I haven't gotten it yet, so we'll keep going
Okay.
until I get summoned. All right, what were you saying?
That we want to have a, we're focusing on our first. We got to first focus on the first order thinking and focus on the
Right,
low
yeah.
level stuff.
Yeah, man, I mean, I just realized like shit is so simple. And I'm so glad that I realized that. I realized it like pretty early on, I think. And I think a big part of that was Ben Settle and just the influence of his podcast, his emails and everything, like his whole style. Um, it really made me realize that I thought that to get this, because basically the result is pretty extraordinary. Making enough money from your laptop, fucking hitting buttons all day, um, and not making enough money to support yourself, to live your life, whatever. That's like a very extraordinary result. That's not the average.
Mm-hmm.
So your first kind of thought is, all right, well, it must be complicated to get that. Like if it was easy, if it was simple, then wouldn't everyone have that? And the reality is it's very, very, very simple. It just takes a lot of work and a lot of consistency over time, and you just not giving up.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy, man. It's crazy. It's like just how simple it is. Like it really
Simple.
is.
Yeah,
So
it's simple, not easy. That's how I describe it.
I like to think of, I think simple is almost the opposite of easy in some ways, because you literally have to overcome how our brains are wired to think in
Mm-hmm.
order to get to that.
Yeah. In terms of oh, we'll start wrapping this up, but I have one more question. Like in terms of goal setting, in terms of like how you conceptualize where you want to go. Do you just do you go day by day, or do you have like a week schedule? Do you have like a place where you can imagine like, okay, this is the mega goal I want to hit for this year, and this is how I'm going to break it down? Or do you kind of just like you just go and you just you just go off your intuition and just be like, oh yeah, that seems kind of cool, I'll do that. Oh yeah, that seems kind of cool. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, we won't do that. How do you conceptualize your system to victory?
Yeah. So I would say I'm pretty sporadic. I used to be a lot more like, like down to the nose, like very specific with everything.
Mhm.
I've definitely gotten more sporadic about it now. I do like when I'm making like kind of like my, I don't know, like the process for how I get shit done is basically like at the beginning of the week or on like a Sunday night, I'll kind of write down like the main things that I want to accomplish that week. And I try to make that list as short as possible. And really just focus on like, what are the big few things that if I can get done this week, like that'll actually move the needle. So
Mhm.
I'll write those down, and then I'll go, day by day. Every morning I wake up and like the first thing I do is just make a short list of what I want to get accomplished that day.
Yeah.
And then I just basically go through and, cross things off one by one. But in terms of like goal setting, I don't know. Maybe I need to get more back into that, but I feel like a lot of goal setting is just like you already kind of know what you want to do. And like, I think it definitely can help, especially when you're first getting started. I think this is really, really important when you're first getting started, but I know the general direction that I want to go. And I don't feel like I need to be like, I want to make this amount of money this week. And it's also like, you don't want to be setting goals that are like things you can't control. Right. Like I see people, I feel like that's a pretty common concept, but like, you don't want to set a goal that's like, I want to make $10,000 this week. Make it like, I want to test 4 different ad creatives, or I want to run whatever, just like things that you can actually control. Because if you set the goals around that, then the results are going to come eventually. If you set them around the results and then you do everything that you're supposed to do, you can do everything right. And sometimes shit still doesn't work out. Sometimes you still lose.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you set goals like that, you're kind of going to get discouraged. But generally speaking, like if I am setting a goal, I like to set it like 10 to 20% higher than I think is realistically possible.
Yeah.
Just have a little bit of room to, I don't know, just set that buffer. And like the first goal I set was make $800 a week. Like when I was first getting started, I wanted to make $800 a week. If I could do that, I figured I could like pay for a shitty apartment. I could basically support myself. And I hit that so much faster than I thought. Like so much faster. And I think part of that was luck. Part of it was, timing, whatever. There's a lot of factors that go into it. But once I had hit that, I was like, was that a good thing? Like, what was the point of making it 800? Why didn't I make it 5,000? And it's like, I feel like if you just have a general direction that you want to go and you're consistent with the effort you put in, like, I don't know. I don't feel like it's like that big of a deal.
Yeah. Forward and upward. Forward and upward. That's the direction. Well, Nate, it was really good talking to you. Got a lot of insight. I hope everyone that's listening to this learned a lot and got to see a side of Nate Schmidt that you don't normally see, especially on the Twitter with the little cowboy hat. You don't get much deep insight into the psychology of Nate Schmidt right there. But hopefully this podcast illuminated a bit more on him. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you next time on the Arthaus podcast. Can you just throw like where people can find you? On the social.
So main place, you can find me on Twitter at SCHM7DT. It's my last name with a 7 for the I. You can find me on YouTube. You just search Nate Schmidt. I should come up on YouTube. Those are really the main places.
All right, man. Cool. And be sure to check out Blue Ocean Ecommerce too.
Yeah, if you're into e-commerce dropshipping, you want to like look into that or like learn about it at all. I got a bunch of content on my YouTube channel. You can check that out for free. We also have paid offerings if you're looking to just throw some money at it and get some help quicker. But yeah, a lot of good resources. Go check those out and subscribe to this podcast.
All right. Well, thank you everyone, and hope to catch you guys soon.